एक पल में ही थम सा गया।
Mr. Jung, we should go to the business party. Jia came toward Jungkook and asked him. JK was using his mobile and waiting for Wine because she promised him she would go with him. JK, actually, I'm going with Wine, he said to her and kept busy in his phone. Jia, oh, but I thought she's busy with Jack and can't come with you. Jungkook, Jack? Yeah, she's helping him with some products details. I also heard that she's going with Jack for the dinner. He opened his mobile phone and dialed Wine's number. Her phone was out of reach. He called her 10 times, but she wasn't answering his calls, and it added fuel to his anger because she promised him she would go with him, but instead ditched him. He looked at his watch and he was already late. JK, let's go, he said to Gia, and without looking at her, he went to his car. Gia smirked and went behind him. Jungkook and Wine both are in a secret relationship. Jungkook is the CEO of June Enterprises, and Wine is the head of marketing department. Wine promised him that they will go together in the business party, but she is nowhere to be found. And Pav, I guess I sent you all emails. Now I need to go. Mr. June must be waiting for me. Jack, oh, okay, I'm going there too. Let's go together. She took her mobile phone and went to the entrance of building where JK was standing for her. But when she arrived there, she was surprised to see that Jungkook was going with Gia on the front seat. He promised me. How can he do that? She murmured. Jack, I think we're late. He left with Gia. He came beside her and tell her, it's okay, I'll take you there. Mine nodded and went behind him. She reached there after 20 minutes. Jack, we are here, Wine. Let's go. Wine came out of her thoughts and get down from the car. They both went inside the hall together. The interior was beautifully decorated, and there was dim lighting there. She entered the hall with her cheerful smile. Two eyes caught her. Mostly like two burning eyes caught her with someone else, with a drink in his hand. Jungkook, this is Mr. Harper. Gia's voice interrupted his thoughts. Jungkook, oh hi, Mr. Harper. It's nice meeting you. He meets them with his most handsome smile. Mr. Harper, I hope in the future we'll work on some projects. Jungkook, yeah, definitely. They were having some conversation while on the other hand her eyes caught them. How Gia was so close to Jungkook. Don't look at him, Wine, she said in her heart. She was standing there alone enjoying her drink. I will not talk to him ever again. What did he think of himself? Wine was kept murmuring her words. Wine was kept murmuring those words. Jack, is everything okay, Wine? Jack voice rang to her ears, and she came out of her thoughts. Wine, oh yeah, everything's all right, she said with her soft smile to him. Jack, let's have a dance together. He offered his hand to her. She looked at the place where JK was, but he was nowhere to be seen now. Wayne looked back again at his hand. She just wanted to go home because her mood was already ruined. Before she said anything, a large hand came across with her hand. She is not available. A hoarse voice came behind her, and she very well knew who owns this voice. Check, Mr. June? Oh, sorry, Wayne. I thought you were free. Have fun. He went away from there. JK held her hand and took her to the dance floor. Slow music was playing. The dim lights makes the environment more dramatic. Everyone was moving with their slow steps. Wine, I'm not available for you too, she said, looking in his eyes. He felt enraged first because she didn't come with him. Their steps were sinking like the prince and the princess. They were in the middle of the dance floor. His one hand was on her waist and her hand on his shoulder. Jungkook, why? Because you wanted to dance with him? Why? Why are you so interested in my life? I can do whatever I want. You don't get to interfere in my life. It angers him more. He pulls her toward him fiercely. His grip on her waist tightens more. Let me remind you who you belong to. He bent over her and whispered in her ear. Wine looked at him. Wine, I don't belong to you. Believe me. He loosens his grip around her waist. He couldn't take her attitude anymore. He holds her hand and takes her with him because he's done with her. He holds her hand and takes her away from there in the dim light. There was no a room at some distance from the hall. He brought her inside a room where there is no sound of music. It was quiet in the darkness. He locked the door of the room. He then turned around to face her. Before giving her a chance, he pinned her to the wall. You belong here, Wayne, in my arms. Don't you dare think about that, he said in her ears. Wayne, stop calling him that. He's better than you. At least he didn't leave me there alone. His one hand circled around her waist and tightened her. He brings her closer to his face. Their faces were inches away. JK, better than me, huh? Let me show you who's better. He whispered in her ears and with his hoarse voice and without giving her any chance. Wine started struggling under his grip, but in the end, she gave up and started responding to him. He stopped and looked at her, who was breathing heavily. JK, better than me, huh? Wine came back to her mind and looked at him, who was already looking at her. She pushed him. Wine, it was you who left me there. JK, it was you who wanted to go with him, he said in his growling voice. Wine looked at him shocked. Wine, it was you who went away with her. I was ready, but she told me that Jax need me and it's urgent, but you didn't even wait for me. She said whatever was pinching her mind. JK, I was there waiting for you, but it was you who didn't even pick my call. Wine, what are you talking about? I didn't even receive your call. Jungkook took her phone and handed her. Look, you always think I'm lying, huh? She quickly takes out her phone from her purse. She was shocked to see that her phone was on airplane mode. Jungkook kept looking at her. She looked upward. I don't know how this happened. I was with Jack at that time. And everything clicked to them. JK, you told me you didn't belong to me, he said to her while gauging her in his arms. Wine, I thought you were with Jian. Broke your promise. She bites her lower lip and said to him. He looked at her for a moment and said, after a very long minute, JK, I'll continue this later, but now we have some other things to do. Let's go, he said in his husky voice in her ears. He holds her hand and they both went out and reached the hall where everyone was enjoying the night. JK, What a player. We have to see both of you together here, right? Gia and Jack. Jungkook, Wine. She was shocked to see them together. Wine, are you surprised or shocked to see us together again? Wine smirked. How can she leave that girl who tried to steal her man? Gio, what are you talking about? She asked nervously. Wine comes forward toward her. This is the last time you did that to us. If you dare think about my man again, I'll make sure you will be shot by me, she said, closer to her ear and patted her shoulder. Jack, Wine listened, but his hand got stopped by Jungkook. Dare touch my woman, I'll make sure you'll not have hands to touch her in the future. He growled at him. Wine, leave them, Jungkook. These little things don't deserve our precious time. They tried to ruin us, but look, they ruined themselves. She held Jungkook's hand and left from there. Wine popped. They both reached outside the hall when Jungkook said, "JK, wanna go for a ride, baby?"